Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper, and welcome to Stories and Stamps. So, today I have a super cool technique for you. Now, as you may know, we Stampers get super excited about new techniques, and I thought I was stumbling on a new technique, and it was by Michelle Last, and she called it alcohol markers. Alcohol and I don't know. You know what? I'm just babbling now. I don't even remember. Markers and alcohol marble technique on vellum, something like that. I'm totally butchering it. And what I didn't realize is that it was the same technique that I used this summer that someone had made, and it's on my blog, with alcohol roses. And it was a little bit more complicated, and we used the natural tones blends and then with alcohol on vellum. And then you use the heat tool to blow the resulting beautifulness around, and you make roses. So this is way easier because you're not trying to make it into a certain shape. So let's take a look at what we need. And thanks, Michelle, for the beautiful inspiration because the colors are just great. I did it in the summer with natural tones, and I also did it with beautiful bright tones, melon mambo, daffodil delight, and all kinds of pink tones. And that was beautiful too. So, you know what? You can do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. But what you need, it will totally not work out if you don't use the right materials. I accidentally used my Stampin' Spritzer, and I thought it had alcohol in it, but it didn't. It had water. And what happened, I should show you. This is what happened. It just rolled up my vellum completely. After, I didn't want to waste it, so then I did use alcohol afterwards, and it worked. But because I had put water on it, it just totally ruined it. So don't use water, and don't use 70% alcohol. You need to have like a 90% or above. So this 99% isopropyl alcohol. In Canada, you can get it at the drugstore. You can even get it at the grocery store. And I think in Europe, you need to go to a drugstore to get it. Okay, so then I have a Stampin' Spritzer, and then I bought these on Amazon. And it's just really nice to have that tiny little tip, but any little pipette or something will do as well. Okay, and then these are the colors: soft succulent, dark. They're all the dark shades. Okay, dark soft succulent, dark just jade, dark evening evergreen, and dark old olive. Now the just jade has been retired. Michelle suggested to swap it out with shaded spruce, and I did that, but I found that it gave too much of a blue tone. So yeah, I'm not sure if we have an other green that would still work. Pear pizzazz, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to look. But anyway, the key is that when blends come out from Stampin' Up, you just need to get them all because you never know what you're going to need. So I've started with some vellum, some cardstock vellum, and I'm going to cut it in half. I only need half a sheet. So I'm going to cut this at 14.9 centimeters. Oh, I already did. Here we go. Well, how about that? And then I'm going to put it on a piece of the backing from our paper so you can see it a little bit better. Just save this stuff because it comes in handy. So I'm just going to put the vellum on here. And now we're just going to take the brush tip and scribble. Okay. You can go in circles if you want. You can go in straight lines. I like this color. I want the most of this. This is the soft succulent. And you know, you can add more color afterwards, so you don't get stressed out about whether or not you're doing it right. um, the only thing that you have to be careful with is to use the least amount of the very dark color. So here's just jade. You can see what a subtle difference that is, and the alcohol is just going to make it all kind of run together. You don't want to leave too much white space. You can leave a little bit. The old olive has a little bit of a yellowy undertone, as you can see. I'm getting better at seeing undertones. And don't worry if you can't, it doesn't matter. You know what? This is all just about playing and having fun. And like I said, you can add colors afterwards. Now the darkest color is this evening evergreen. So you don't want to have a lot of that or it will overpower. So I'm just adding a little bit here and there. And oh, that's on my white. And I think that's probably enough. So I'm going to add a little more soft succulent in here. And maybe I could, well, you know, the problem is when you start overthinking. Okay, don't try not to do that. So now we're going to take our spritzer and spray a little bit. I'm almost out, so I filled up my spritzer. So give it a spritz, a generous spritz. You want the colors to puddle a little. And the key is to have a little bit of patience as it works its magic. You can see it starting to, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see better what's going on. See, so it's spreading a little bit, but I want to add some more. There. And now I'm going to drop a little bit of alcohol on and see what the difference is. There. And you know what? Maybe I have too much white space. We're going to find out. Like I said, it's better if I don't do it right the first time perfectly, because then you're going to see how it starts to work. Oops. There. All right, so now we're going to get I still see some stripes, which I don't want. Okay, it's looking good. Now I'm going to get my heat tool and blow it around a little bit. And I think I might have to move things a little bit because I'm out of reach. Okay, I can reach now, so I have my heat tool and I'm just going to start. You know what? I waited too long. Oh no, not quite. It dried a little bit on me. So I'm not getting that much movement. So let's say you had the same trouble that I did and you waited too long. Okay, no worries. We're going to turn this off. We have a little bit of marbling going on, but it still looks kind of splotchy. It looks a little bit like camo. We don't want that. So I'm going to go back in to the white spots and I'm going to add a little bit more. And I don't like the old olive that much. I'm going to minimize. I'm not going to add any more old olive. And I'm going to add some more just jade. Okay, and now we're going to add some more alcohol. And this is where you're going to see the beautifulness that you can mess up and you can go in again. And I like that so much. I'm going to add a little bit more of this as well. And okay, so now we're going to spritz and watch the magic happen. And we're going to add a little bit of drops. And we want this to spread. Now you don't want it to be a big soupy mess either. And there. It really is amazing what happens at the end, like your end result. You might be skeptical right now, and I don't blame you. All right, let's blow it around. And you can turn it around a little bit. So you're getting a beautiful marbling technique. Yeah, it's really cool. And like I said, you can keep changing it to make it look exactly what you want. Now, I only have this little piece of adhesive sheet left. So I like this part the best. So I'm going to leave this. And I can put this away. And later on, I can play with this and add more color, make it run a little bit more. That doesn't matter. So, but the adhesive is a really great tip from Michelle. So I'm just going to lay them on top of each other. You don't even have to measure. I'm just going to lay them right on top, put it in my trimmer, and cut. And then, see, it says right here, peel here. So we're going to peel that off. And then you have a wee little, I call it a handle. You have a wee little piece of adhesive right on the end. So you just want to press this up against that piece. There. and then slowly put it down. Now it's not perfect. I'm going to trim this off. And in fact, I don't want to use my trimmer because I don't want it to get gunged up. So I'm just going to cut this off. Throw it out before it makes a mess. And then we're going to take a circle die and cut this out with a circle die. And here we go. There it is. So now you have an adhesive backed sticker. So now you can stick this wherever you want it to go. And we're going to stick it on white so that it pops up. So I've done that, and I've embossed Merry Christmas on it. How cool is that? But you can see, look at the difference. I'm going to do this on just here. See how the white just makes it pop up? So that's really, really cool. Now I wanted to do something. I'm going to show you a few examples of what you can do with this now. So take a look at this. I have stamped the Tidings of Comfort and Joy and embossed in gold, and then put it on a music note embossing folder. Do you remember how I ordered this because I just had to have it? I have it in Canada too, and I just wanted to make it. Now I just laid this all out, and I was just playing to see how it would look. And do you see the gold branches in behind there? I thought, where on earth? I saw them in Michelle's card, and I thought, where on earth did she get that greenery from? Because I love it. Well, guess what? I had it, and I'm going to show you something. And you might think the same thing that I do. So I have this here, and you can see that it's the layer of pine cones and greenery. And there are 2 of them, and they came in the Christmas to Remember and the Christmas Season stamp sets. Now the crazy thing is, the Christmas to Remember with the greetings, it came with these dies. So this one and this one, and I had never used them. So I thought, okay, I'll play with them. And truth be told, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you layer this one over top of this one. And then you can decide what you think about it, okay? But I thought it was interesting that Stampin' Up! Included the pine cone dies with the sayings, but then it was so confusing to me. And then in this set with the pine cones, what comes with that one is all the labels for the sayings. So anyway, there's beautiful pine cones in here and some really nice greenery. So I made some just so that you could see. Here it is layered. I'm not sure. Now, I didn't do it very well. Right here, there's a bit of a boo-boo. I couldn't, there's little pieces that are stuck. I didn't run it through properly. But I wasn't overwhelmed with like amazingness when I saw this. But what I do like is take a look at this. And you grab your scissors, and you have these lovely long pieces of greenery. I really like that. So that's what I'm using this for. Not for the pine cones so much, but for the greenery. So just cut them loose off the pine cones, and then you're good to go. Now it gets a little tricky in here. And I'm just, speed is sometimes of the essence and sometimes not. I'm just doing that because you're just making a bouquet with this greenery. So just cut them off and then wait till you see the magic happen. Okay, so you get a lot of greenery from one piece, which is nice. I'm just going to stop for now. And let's have a look. Do I have some pine cones? Yes, here I did it again. And this is with the time-worn type embossing folder. And then I used a different stamp set to cut greenery, but here are the little pine cones from that. I have some big ones, but I don't know where they are just yet. I'll find them for you in a minute, okay? I promise I'll share. And then the last thing, so I made 3 of these circles. I had half a sheet of vellum, and I just couldn't bear to waste the rest. So I used my circle dies, and look what I did. I've laid them out like this, and I want to make a card with that. Isn't that so cool? So I just used up all my circles, and I took the smallest ones, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be a totally different card. And I'll show you something. So this is the vellum, and it has that adhesive backing on it, which is wonderful. Now, my nails are terrible. There, but even I can do it. See, so now you have a sticker. And you can decide how you want it to go. And look at that. It looks beautiful. So I'm going to make something with this card and then I'll show it to you. So I'm going to show you how to put this card together because it might be helpful to you. And in the meantime, I did find the other pine cones. So I'm just going to move this a little bit. And here, there's the little ones, like so. So they're two layered over top of each other. And then here's the big one. So you can use those. And then here's some stamped ones. And you need to play when you're making those to decide what color combo you like the best. And I find, for myself, I have to be totally honest, I found it incredibly difficult to make those pine cones. So once you've come up with the combination that you like, save it on your Stamparatus and stamp a whole whack load of them, and then you don't have to have the frustration again. Now, it could just be me. It could be my eyes. It could be, who knows, the day. But if you find a great stamp combination that works and you were struggling, then I'm telling you, make a whole bunch of them right away, and then you're set for a while and you'll thank yourself. I've had that so many times. You open up a stamp case and then I have a little Ziploc baggie full of little stamped and cut images and I'm like, oh, Jackie, thank you. And I thank my past self. So right now I just have them sitting in a little box bottom, all my little pieces, but I'll tuck them into that stamp set. So let's have a look. I have this, and then what I do is I'm going to see if I can just kind of grab it a little bit and slide it off. But it's really not that difficult. I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be. So because we've used an adhesive sheet and then put it on a piece of white cardstock, it is now a super sturdy piece. The vellum isn't going to curl. You see that gorgeous marbling technique in behind. You could pop it up, but I'm going to leave it flat. I'm leaving it flat because I'm going to have a lot of layers anyway, and I don't want to have to pay extra for my Christmas cards. But it's up to you, depending where it's going and what you want. That's the beautiful thing about making cards. All those little decisions are yours to make. And it also embossed very well, so that's good to know. So I'll just give it a press. And then I'm going to start with layering my little bouquet. And what's helpful here is a silicone mat. I was using it a bit earlier, but I've done a lot of things before this video, and now my silicone mat is missing. Okay, silicone mat was sitting in the windowsill. I have my glue sponge, and we're making a little puddle in the corner. My Tombow is almost all gone. I had quite a lot of it, and I must have used a lot. So now what we're doing is just flatten out your little puddle and then dab a little bit on the end. I'm not gluing the whole thing down. I just want glue to be in the middle part because I love the idea. Now let's see, I have one going here. I want another gold here. I love the idea of a little bit of movement. You don't want everything flat, and I don't know if I want it a little thicker going that way. I think I do. Here. Oops, that didn't work. Adhesive, gold does not stick well to gold. So tuck it underneath here, and then you'll have a better, there. The gold is beautiful. This is our gold paper. It's in the mini catalog. It might be retiring. I don't know. Check the retiring list. It's coming up tomorrow. Oh, look how beautiful that is. And then I took just cardstock and this little greenery thing, and it came from the Christmas season dies as well, I believe. And so I have Evening Evergreen, I have Soft Succulent, and I have Old Olive. And it just brings out all the colors that are in that cardstock, in that vellum, from that wonderful technique that we did. So that's the beauty of Stampin' Up!, I have to say. That's one of the things that I fell in love with first from Stampin' Up! Is the color coordination. It's just like shopping for clothes. When things coordinate, it just makes it so much easier to buy an outfit than if you have to go to a whack load of different stores finding something to go with something you already bought. I'm sure you guys have had that experience, and it's not great. And I don't want to make this totally symmetrical, so on this side, on the other side, I'm going to put the Old Olive at the bottom. Here. There. And I was also careful to, well, look, and now we have this greenery in a different shape. See how nice that is? It's nice to have a little bit of variety. And that's why I was so happy to find that die. I thought, oh, I forgot I had that beauty. And now this soft succulent one. And then we're just going to throw in our pine cones. But isn't that just lovely? And before I pop my pine cones on, I'm going to put this on my card base. So this is just a half a sheet. So it's either an 8.5 by 11 that's been cut. So now it's 4.25 by 11 scored at 5.5, or it is 29.89 centimeters. So it's 10.5 centimeters by, and it's scored at 14.9. Okay, so I'm learning the metric. I'm pretty proud of that. Here we go. I'm like, oh, it's a good thing I'm almost going home. It's Tuesday today, and on Thursday I fly home, and then I will have to have more Tombow here when I come back, because I am out. I'm squeezing the last of that. So I will pop up the pine cones, probably because that's the only adhesive I have left. But I just love this white on white. It's so pretty. It just really makes me happy. Clean. It reminds me of fresh fallen snow. So now I'm just going to take these pine cones, and I might add some twine, but I don't think so. So we're going to add some dimensionals. Okay, so I have the dimensionals, and I have going to have great big news in 2 days. And the crazy thing is that in 2 days I'm also flying home. But I've been super inspired by On Stage in Vienna, and I am going to grow my European team. Yeah, I'm really excited to be a super active demonstrator in 2 markets. So whether you live in Canada or you live in Europe, you can be part of something very fun and very exciting. And so stay tuned for more details. And I'm planning a lot of fun and exciting things also when I'm here in Europe. Now, you know what? This thing fell off because I didn't have enough adhesive. Let's see if I have a little bit more in here. So that's part of my story today. There's a little bit now. Not much, but enough that I can pop it down here. Okay. And yeah, that's the wonderful thing about Stampin' Up! There's so many opportunities for you also to save money or to build a business, however you want to do it. So isn't that nice? Very happy with that. And I can stamp something in the inside, and just look at the difference now. So here we have that card. You can find me everywhere as the Pampered Stamper. And then in Europe, I'm going to be the Pampered Stamper Europe. Now look how different it looks with stamped and die cut images, or just die cut shapes. Now what's your favorite? And then this one is interesting, right? Because this has stamped greenery, but die cut pine cones. This one has stamped pine cones, but die cut greenery. So I would like to know what your favorite is. Or do you like the modern look of the circles? Aren't you curious what I'm going to turn that into? I am too. So anyway, and then the last little thing is you can also add, see on here, the little jingle bell. And you know what? I could probably add that in here as well. Look at that. That looks cool. Or here. So it's amazing when you just add a little bit of something. It makes a difference, but I like it better on this one. So yeah, remember the whole lesson in this, guys, is take time to play and see what makes you happy. So that's really my story today, is take time to play. Don't take your hobby too seriously, and that way when you do make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Remember, it's only cardstock and paper, and there's more of it. So if you are playing, then make sure you play with something that you don't mind throwing out. Do not play with your last little bit of hoarded paper that you're all excited about, or if you're almost out of your early espresso cardstock, then wait till you know what you're doing before you use whatever you have in very short supply. But life is too short to not have fun. So stay tuned for my big news December 1st. And I hope you have a super day. And thank you for joining me today. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And as always, I love your comments. I'm going to be giving a prize away, which is Hope. What's it called? Hope and Peace? I think it's called Hope and Peace. It's a Christmas stamp set, and I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. So when I get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a draw. And the only thing you have to do to be in the draw is to subscribe and to comment. Let me know that you have subscribed. And if you've already subscribed, comment on one of my videos. I will go through the last comments of the last, ever since I announced this contest about 10 days ago, and someone will be the lucky winner. So I love to give things away, and I wish you good luck. Alrighty, bye.